Those are scammers. So what you might see as something of a convenience for you is like, oh, this guy's really nice. He's not doing it as a favor to you. He's doing it as a scam. Hey, what's up? JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia, out in BGC on High Street at one of my hangouts, Wild West Roadhouse Bar and Grill. I'm having my unlimited bottomless lemonade on a warm Wednesday afternoon. Today's topic is 9 things you don't want to do in the Philippines. So let's dig into it right now. All right, number 1 on the list, and stick around for all 9. And if you like the content, make sure you smash that like button, that thumbs up, and make sure if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, and then share this video if you like, and comment down below too if you have anything to add to my list. So number 1 on the list, eating street food. Do not eat street food. Now, I'm not saying that all street food is bad. I'm not saying it tastes bad. I'm not saying it's bad for you, but generally speaking, compared to, say, countries like Thailand, where I would say Thailand street food is absolutely safe to eat. I've eaten there plenty of times and never gotten sick. But here in the Philippines, it's kind of a hit and miss thing. In other words, I've seen how the hot dogs are made, and I try to avoid eating the traditional street food that you might see out and about in the Philippines. Not necessarily in BGC. You don't see that here, but outside of BGC, in Manila and Metro Manila and some of the provinces, you see locals selling street food, and you see a lot of locals eating street food, and it doesn't bother them because they have that immunity built up for that bacteria that's in this country, whereas a foreigner might not. So it could be a hit and miss proposition if you were to eat street food here in the Philippines. So I would just caution against it, and my general advice would say avoid it. There's so many other restaurants. If you like Filipino food, there's regular Philippine restaurants around here that serves that kind of food. And then of course, all kinds of Asian food is available here, as well as Western food. So just imbibe there and just avoid the street food if possible. Number 2 on the list, do not let someone at the airport order your Grab or order your taxi, because those are scammers. So what you might see as something of a convenience for you is like, oh, this guy's really nice. He's going to order my Grab or get my taxi for me. He's not doing it as a favor to you. He's doing it as a scam, because what will happen is they'll order a Grab, but they'll charge you extra instead of the normal Grab rate. You'll get charged an extra fee, and it's pretty significant too. Same with taxis. The taxis that they get for you will charge you a flat fee rather than a metered fee, and it's going to be a lot higher than if you were to get a metered taxi. The best thing to do is download the Grab app on your phone before you arrive, and when you get here, then you can order your Grab on the phone, and then as soon as you leave the airport, take a right and go all the way to the end of the building into the garage there, and that's where the Grab pickup spots are. So what you'll do is you'll tell your Grab driver which slot you're waiting at, and he'll come to that slot and pick you up, and you'll save a lot of money. If you're taking a taxi, go outside the building, outside the exit of the airport, and go all the way to the end. Take a right and go all the way to the end. There's a taxi stand there. You'll wait in line if there's a line, and the person at the kiosk will give you a ticket, and you'll wait for your taxi to show up in the line, and when it does, you'll get in. But I will warn you, make sure you tell them meter, because sometimes they won't put that meter on, and then you're kind of at the mercy of whatever they want to charge you. So if they won't turn their meter on, they may say it's broke, or because of traffic, they don't want to use it. Don't take that for an answer. If they refuse to turn the meter on, get out and find the next taxi, because you'll find one that does, and the meters are going to be a lot cheaper than if they try to charge you a flat fee. All right, Number 3, don't disrespect Filipinos. I know there's a difference in culture than the West, especially in the US or Australia or the UK. It's a whole different animal out here. Things move at a much slower pace. They don't like to get into any kind of a hassle or a conflict, so they try to avoid those things. But if things don't work out the way you like, you need to adapt. And if you can't adapt, then at least take a step back, take a deep breath, and relax a little bit. Because if you get upset and you start disrespecting the locals here, it's not going to go over well, and you're not going to get anything taken care of. You're not going to get anything accomplished. It's going to be even harder if you disrespect. And some things you do that's disrespectful in the Philippines to locals can be considered against the law. So if you want to be a disrespectful jerk like that Batali guy, or there's a couple of others here in the Philippines, you will find that they do not accept that well, and you may be in front of a court and you may be charged with some crimes and you may do some time. All right, number 4, don't criticize the government. I know we come from the West, where our Constitution says that we can have freedom of speech and we're free to criticize our government as long as we're not putting out any death threats. Criticizing the government in foreign countries is a no-no. That's a big no-no, so just don't do it. If you disagree with what the government's doing in this country, don't air your grievances, especially in public or especially to the locals, to the Filipinos, and absolutely especially not on social media, because you will get turned in and you will probably get arrested, because they don't take that lightly. That's a big serious thing if you criticize the local government here. So just don't do it. Stay away from that as much as possible. Number 5, and before I get to number 5, make sure you like, share, and subscribe on this because it really helps the algorithms. Hit that like button because it sends it out to other viewers on YouTube that may not have seen my videos before, that might be interested in it. And make sure, if you haven't hit that notification bell, go ahead and do so. That way I get you notified when I post a new video. That way you get to watch it. Okay. All right, number 5, rejecting food at a party or at someone's house. So if you're invited to a birthday party or an anniversary or any kind of celebration at a local Filipino's home and they have food, they take a lot of time and they serve a lot of food. And if you reject their food, especially if you're kind of rude about it, that doesn't go over very well. Even if you just take a couple of bites of something, that's better than saying, no, I don't like Filipino food. I was at a party a year or so ago, and the lady throwing the party, a friend of mine, they had the big lechon pig, which that's not cheap. Plus they had the boodle fight on the table with all the seafood and everything. They have tons of food. And one of the guys that was sitting in our table, he just rejected it. He goes, I don't like Filipino food. It's like, dude, I'm thinking to myself, you may not like it. There's a lot of Filipino food I don't like, but you don't have to state that loud so everybody can hear it. You need to be a little more subtle about it, and maybe, make an excuse, like maybe you said, oh, I ate before we got here. I didn't realize there was going to be food, or maybe I'm not feeling well, so I'm laying off food for the rest of the day, or something like that. But you can be civil, you can be subtle, and you can be cordial about declining the food. But just don't come out and say, I hate Filipino food, because that's not good, especially when you've been invited to their house to eat. That's not a good thing. Number 6, do not date married Filipinas. Okay, guys, let me repeat, do not date a married Filipina. One, it's just going to complicate a lot of things, especially if maybe she has children and her husband is still in the picture. That could be some serious things go down on that. Not to mention, it's illegal. It's against the law to date a married Filipina. So you could get in a lot of trouble legally, and you can get in a lot of trouble through the family too, because if it's a jealous husband and he finds out you're dating his wife, his estranged wife, there could be some really bad things going down that you might not foresee or might not think about, but it could happen. So just to be safe, make sure you're not going to date a married Filipino. Now, you're going to have to check, because she may not tell you up front that she's married until you're into the relationship a little bit, and then maybe she thinks, okay, he really likes me or he loves me, so I can spring it on him now, and he's not going to leave me right away. So she may lead you on a little bit, but there's things to get by that. Especially if she has kids, so you know there's some sort of a relationship, most likely. So you can have that conversation with her. There's a form that she can get from the local barangay that states that she is not married. So you can ask for that. If she gets upset with that, then that might be a red flag right there. But just be aware and take precautions and make sure that the Filipina that you are getting into a relationship with is not married. Now, divorce is still illegal here in the Philippines. That's why you see a lot of couples break up here in the Philippines and remain married, because they just can't get divorced. And annulments take a long time, and it's very expensive. So usually annulments are out of the question, so they just split up. They're just separated. And if you see on a dating site where the Filipina says, I'm separated, that's probably means she's married, and you should probably stay away from that, okay? Unless you're willing to pay a lot of money and wait a long time to get that annulment through. Because that's probably not going to happen with them or her or her husband. All right, number 7, do not participate in any protests or rallies. So a lot of these rallies or protests are government related, so either pro or con to the current government, but you cannot participate in any of those rallies or protests. It is against the law, and you will be arrested, probably deported, and probably blacklisted from the Philippines if you do that. So just rule of thumb, if there's a rally or a protest in your area, even if it's in your local barangay, just stay far, far away. Now, if your Filipino girlfriend or Filipino wife wants to participate, she has the right to do that because she's a citizen here, but you don't. Being a foreigner, an expat, you don't have that right. So it's just like talking bad about the government. Being at these rallies or these protests, that's against the law as well, and you can get in a heap of trouble if you participate, so just don't do it. Number 8, and this should be such common sense, but I see it all the time. Guys still do it all the time. Don't send a Filipina any money if you haven't met her yet. And I'm going to qualify that too. Even if you have met her, if it's just briefly, like one time, and you're not in a relationship yet, don't be sending her money, because that's what she's doing. I mean, you'll get on a dating site, and the first thing they do after they say hi to you is ask you for a load on their phone, so they have data on their phone. Oh, that could be cheap. That might be 90 or 100 pesos. No, that's not bad. That's a couple bucks. And you're thinking, oh, that's okay. I can do that. Then she gets to video call me and blah, blah, blah. Well, the next thing you know, she needs more, another load and another load and another load. And then all of a sudden somebody's sick in her family, or she's sick in her family, and she'll send you a picture of her in the hospital, or just the arm with an IV. And you don't know if it's her arm or if it's somebody else's, but you get that all the time. You're going to get these, and yeah, I'll call them scams. Sometimes they're legit, but a lot of times they're scams, because if you haven't met her yet, she's probably doing that with more than one person. So not just you, but she's doing it with a number of people on that dating site. So you're going to simp out and you're going to send her money if you haven't even met her yet. You don't know anything about her really. So don't do it, guys. Just don't do it. Don't send money to anybody you haven't met yet. That's a good rule of thumb. And even after you've met, make sure you're in a relationship and make sure you're comfortable with her. Make sure you know her background, a little bit about her before you even think about sending money. That's bottom line, okay? All right, before I get to number 9, make sure you like, share, and subscribe on this, and comment below if there's anything else that I missed. I know there's a ton of things that you should and shouldn't do when you're in the Philippines. I get that. And we'll cover some other things later on. In fact, there's some things on this list I can really do a deep dive in, like sending Filipinas money, or not dating married women, things like that. We can really do a deep dive in. But this is kind of superficial and just some basic things that you may or may not have heard about. All right, so number 9 on the list. If you like singing and you love karaoke like they do here in the Philippines, there's one song you need to avoid singing at all costs, and that's Frank Sinatra's My Way. Do not sing My Way. There's a myth or a legend or a curse that goes along with that song that I saw some statistics that since 2002, there's been over a dozen people when they sang that song. So it's a hex, it's a curse, it's a myth, it's a legend, whatever you want to call it. But avoid, if you love singing karaoke, avoid singing Frank Sinatra My Way at all costs. It's life-saving for you. So just let this be a warning to you, but just don't sing My Way. Sing any other song. Sing New York, New York. Sing another Frank Sinatra song. Whatever you want to do. Sing anything. Sing Justin Bieber, but don't sing Sinatra's My Way. That's a recipe for disaster. All right. Well, I hope you like the list. Make sure you comment down below if there's anything I missed, or if you want to add to it or subtract from it, whatever you want to do. Go ahead and do that, and like, share, and subscribe. And as always, mabuhay, my friend. Live life, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.